Hello, everyone, and welcome to Through the Covers. I'm Fred, and I'm really excited to finally get this podcast started. If you're someone who loves cricket conversations beyond just match highlights, then this podcast is for you. Through the Covers is where we dive deeper into the game, the latest cricketing news, player statistics, match analysis, team strategies, and of course some predictions about where the game might be heading. Cricket today is evolving faster than ever. Teams are experimenting with new approaches, players are redefining roles, and data-driven decisions are becoming more important with every tournament. Through this podcast, the goal is to understand the game from that perspective, not just what happens on the field, but why it happens. Alright everyone, Fred here and welcome back to Through the Covers. And what a game we just witnessed between DC and GT. Absolute edge-of-the-seat stuff going right down to the final ball, with Gujarat Titans just sneaking through by a single run. And if you zoom out a bit, this game really reinforces a pattern we've been seeing with Gujarat over the past couple of seasons. They are heavily reliant on their top three, but the key difference is that those top-order players keep turning up in big moments, and that consistency at the top allows the rest of the lineup to play with clarity rather than pressure. And beyond just the numbers, you've got to talk about the environment that's been built within that setup. Because what Ashish Nehra has done is genuinely fascinating. It's a culture of backing players even after failures, giving them extended runs, and that trust is now paying off. You saw it again today with Washington Sundar stepping up with a crucial 50, a player who hasn't always been consistent with the bat, but is being empowered to play a defined role. And that's where this Gujarat model starts to resemble, and in some ways even outdo, the old CSK template, because while Chennai built their legacy on trust and role clarity, Gujarat seemed to be executing that philosophy with even more flexibility right now. Something CSK themselves haven't quite maintained in recent times. Shifting to the Delhi Capital's chase, it was a proper roller coaster, wickets falling at regular intervals, partnerships never quite settling, but KL Rahul, this was a reminder of his class. When everything around him was collapsing, he held the innings together, paced it beautifully, and dragged DC to a position where they almost pulled off the improbable. And that ability to anchor under pressure is what separates top-tier players from the rest. And then, of course, you have to mention David Miller, because what he does at the back end is so consistently impactful. It's almost become predictable how dangerous he is in the death overs, finding boundaries under pressure, manipulating fields, and adding those crucial extra runs that ultimately become the difference in tight games like this. And yes, we did say this earlier. We were pretty spot on with the way this match could unfold, especially in terms of Gujarat holding their nerve in crunch moments. Now let's move ahead to the next game, KKR versus LSG in Kolkata. And this is where things get really interesting because Eden Gardens has been a fascinating venue, typically a good batting surface, but with enough in it for spinners as the game progresses, so the toss becomes crucial. Batting first, you're probably looking at a par score in the 180 to 200 range depending on conditions, but chasing hasn't been easy when the pitch slows down, especially under lights, and matchups will play a massive role here. KKR's spin-heavy approach versus LSG's middle-order stability, and how teams manage the middle overs could define the outcome. For me, if KKR bat first and get a solid platform, they might just edge it, given their familiarity with conditions. But if LSG chase and keep wickets in hand, they've got the firepower to close it out. So it's genuinely a 50-50 contest with slight advantages depending on the toss. That's all from this episode. If you enjoyed the analysis and want more deep dives like this, make sure to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram. See you in the next one.